let's get the latest now with Ndabezinhle Sibiya, who's a spokesperson for the MEC of Transport as well as Human Settlements in KwaZulu-Natal. He joins us for an update on some of those relief efforts in the rain-battered province. Ndabezinhle, we really appreciate your time with us today. Good afternoon. So let's first get the latest in terms of cleanup, recovery, as well as other disaster relief efforts, especially in the city, especially at the back of yesterday's destructive rain in the southern parts of the coast. We've just spoken to one of our journalists there, and I don't know, do you have your teams on the ground at this stage assisting, particularly in Umgababa?
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Ms. Charlie. We are currently in Lamotville, the MEC for Transport and Human Settlements, Sponsor Duma. He's with the mayor of eThekwini as well as with other members of EXCO. As we heard this morning, unfortunately last night, some family members were washed away. The MEC has expressed his condolences to the Dingshwayo family. They lost, 3 members of their family. 11-year-old boy, as well as a 16-year-old, as well as a 16-year-old girl and a 5-year-old girl. He has also expressed his condolences to, the Dobongo family. They lost a 56-year-old, member of the family, as well as the Kabasha family. They also lost a 60-year-old. But I think the issue that is very important is that, yesterday we had a prayer. Religious leaders from across the province were here in the prayer, praying for God to shine his face on KwaZulu-Natal, because, since the 1st of January 2025, we've been experiencing, rainfall, prolonged rainfall that is, that has resulted in the destruction of houses, destruction of road infrastructure. So the team that is here in Lamontville, is comprising of, both human settlement, the roving team, as well as the Department of Transport. Now, in Umgababa, I think what is important is to indicate that, eThekwini municipality, they've got a proactive, land release strategy, which is really assisting us to, relocate some of the families that are living in low-lying areas as well as in, river banks. We can indicate that, we've got pockets of lands, more than 10 pockets of lands in various parts of eThekwini, where the MEC is sponsored together with the mayor, Cyril Klaba. They have said, some of the families that are living in the areas that are prone to mudslides and landslides must be moved to those areas. I think that is where we are now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Ndabezinhle, we're talking to my journalist there, and I mean, coming from KZN, I understand that area in particular in Umgababa, all right, it's actually tribally allocated land, but we keep seeing all these developments, new residential areas popping up, particularly along the coastline and very close to the rivers. So, are you able to tell us? I mean, is there any conversations currently taking place with the builders as well as government for those that are tasked with actually putting people on those lands to actually do a proper recon of whether or not the land is actually habitable?
It's a very good question. MEC Sponsor Duma has been speaking eloquently around the issue of climate change, saying we need to adapt. Here in KwaZulu-Natal and the country as a whole, we've got what we call SPUMLA, the special, planning, land and use management, where we are saying, look, municipalities must begin to enforce the bylaws. Where we believe that, it is a land that is not suitable for anyone to build on, the municipality must come in and, ensure that the bylaws are enforced. But then again, we've got tribal land that belongs to Ingonyama Trust. That is why the MEC had a historic meeting with His Majesty, Indlulameti, where they spoke about matters that relates to his people. That is why he has a solid line to the traditional leaders in Makhanya, in Umbumbulu, in Umgababa, and various, Amakosi, are interacting with the MEC, where the main focus is on saying, look, we need to make sure that we do not give land that is prone to floods, that is prone to other disasters. But then again, when we talk about urban flooding, it is happening all over the world. You look at America, you look at India, look at various countries that, have experiencing, disasters. as KwaZulu-Natal, we are looking forward to hosting the ministers that are part of G20 because, what President Cyril Ramaphosa has also indicated is that we need to learn best practices from some of these countries. Urban flooding is happening all over the world, and KwaZulu-Natal is prone to what we called the cut-off law, a low pressure system that gets separated from the main flow, resulting in rainfall, dumping, resulting in the dumping of rain in one place. This is what we've been experiencing since the 1st of January 2025.
A quick one, what is the extent of the damage, particularly to roads and other infrastructure since the start of these heavy rains in Ndabezinhle?
Well, it's something that is beyond our imagination. I think the floods that we experienced in 2022 April, they left us with a bill of more than 6 billion in terms of the repair to road infrastructure. The only amount of money that we could set aside, the head of the department, Sponis Ombele, could only afford 2 billion. So that is the money that was reprioritized. Remember, we've got a backlog of road that needs to be built. So the human settlements, once again, we are also breaking here with the floods from 2022, and there's a land that has been allocated, that has been identified in Casualties. That's why we're going to relocate some of the families that were affected.
Thank you so much. That is Transport and Human Settlement Spokesperson there in Ndabezinhle Sibiya, as of course the KwaZulu-Natal province battles heavy rain and destructive rains in parts of that particular province.